Imagine being trapped in a situation so dire that your only lifeline is a phone call. You can't speak, you can barely move, but you manage to dial 911. On the other end, an operator hears only silence, except for the faintest of background noises. That faint sound, barely audible to the human ear, would become the key to solving a murder that might have otherwise gone unsolved. This is the story of a 911 call that became the difference between life and death, and revealed a killer hiding in plain sight. It was late at night when emergency services received a call from a local residence. The line was silent. No words, just faint sounds. The shuffling of feet, the creaking of a door, maybe even a whispered plea. Operators are trained to detect urgency even in silence. They listened carefully. Something didn't feel right. The background noises, indistinct though they were, painted a picture of a struggle, a life in danger. Police were dispatched immediately, guided by the minimal information the operator could gather. When officers arrived, the scene confirmed their worst fears. A violent struggle had taken place. Investigators found evidence that would point directly to a perpetrator. Items left behind, fingerprints, and traces of DNA. But what made this case extraordinary was the role of the 911 call itself. Without that silent, cryptic line, authorities might never have arrived in time to preserve the crime scene, or worse, the killer might have escaped. The perpetrator, someone known to the victim, had been planning the crime meticulously. Their familiarity with the victim allowed them to enter the home unnoticed. But in their arrogance, they didn't account for one thing: the courage of a person desperate to survive. Forensic audio experts later analyzed the background sounds from the 911 call. Every shuffle, every subtle thump helped reconstruct the scene. Each tiny detail, ignored by most, became crucial evidence that led investigators directly to the killer. Using the audio evidence, along with surveillance footage and witness accounts, police were able to identify and apprehend the suspect. The confession that followed revealed the full scope of the crime. But it all began with that one silent 911 call. It's a chilling reminder of the delicate balance between life and death in critical moments. One brave individual, barely able to speak, ensured that justice was served. And one operator's unwavering attention to detail made the difference between failure and resolution. Today, this case is studied in emergency response training. It shows how even the smallest action, silent or otherwise, can have monumental consequences. The 911 call reminds us of the unseen bravery in ordinary people. Sometimes, survival depends on courage, and sometimes it depends on someone listening, really listening, to the faintest signs of danger. Next time you hear a siren, remember the lives saved not just by quick action, but by the small, silent acts of those in peril. And remember, the quietest calls often tell the most powerful stories. If you want more real stories of crime, survival, and the unexpected heroes within, subscribe and turn on notifications. Some truths are silent, but they can never be ignored.